evening and welcome to Biz News. I'm Elizabeth Lee together with Tony Lopez.
Good evening, Beth.
Tonight we're going to talk about architecture and the real estate industry with our guest, architect Romulo Nati, who is the chairman and CEO of Italpinas Development Corporation that is listed in the PSE and doing quite well.
Yes.
And we have with him Giuseppe Garofalo, who is the director for design and construction engineer, Giuseppe. And we also have Alexander Schlein, who is the part of Panache Management, that is Singapore-based company, an investor, together with IDC and also in the Philippines.
That's how you pronounce it? Panache, not panache?
Panache Management.
Panache
It's
Management.
not panache.
It is actually the right way because it's a Latin. It comes from Latin, which means sparkle, style.
Which means style, because you represent luxury.
Definitely.
Now, I said, welcome to the show, gentlemen. Tell us about IDC first lately. Yep. The programs, the developments that you have had.
How is Italpinas now? You were reporting to your stockholders.
Yeah.
How is Italpinas?
We are doing well. Actually, we have
you did very well in the 9 months?
Yes, actually very well.
How much revenue and profits?
Our gross revenue increased around 220% compared to third quarter of 2017.
That means triple, your profits triple.
No, the gross revenue. The profit, the net profit increased also, but a little less in percentage compared to the 200.
But double.
Yes, we are doing well. I mean,
so how much profit did you make?
33 million.
33 million?
Yes.
The year before was 15?
I think it was around 20 something.
20. Other increase was 50%.
Yes. Now we are doing well.
How many projects do you have?
At the moment, we completed 2 towers in Cagayan, Primavera Residences, which was our first project, fully sold out and actually awarded us the best mixed-use building in the Philippines in 2014.
Primavera, how many units?
350, more or less.
350. They were sold in only 2 years' time?
No, a little more, because we develop in every building. Primavera is composed by 2 buildings, phase 1, phase 2. In total, we developed the project in around 4 years. 2 years for one building and 2 years for the other building, and we sold everything in more or less 4 years.
You were selling 10 units per month?
Yes. We started, it's an interesting story. We started to sell 2-3 units per month back in 2011.
Yeah.
Now we are selling up to 15-20
15 units per month.
We are happy.
So business is double every way. In number of units, in revenues, and going to be in profits.
We are doing well.
So you have that one project in CDO.
Yes, and then another project in CDO. After we were successfully Primavera Residences, we developed...
Primavera is in Cagayan.
In Cagayan. And Primavera City is a new project, bigger. It's going to be developed in 4 phases.
Why did you call it Primavera, meaning green, instead of, or spring, instead of gold?
I will like the idea Primavera because in Italian means spring, as you said.
Spring,
and also because it's a combination of prima, which is prime, and vera, which is truth. So it's, are you speaking Italian? You?
No.
Anyway, so Primavera City is a new project, and phase 1 is about to be completed. Giuseppe can update us because he's the one handling the construction. Also almost sold out, so we are happy. In 2 years.
What is the name of the second project?
Primavera City. The first one is Primavera Residences. The second one in Cagayan is Primavera.
Both of them are in Cagayan?
Both of them Cagayan, but we have
City meaning it is a bigger project?
It's a bigger project. Right.
Meaning how many units?
When it's going to be completed, we are talking about more than 1,200
1,200, about 5 times your current volume before.
And at the moment, we
That's
also...
very ambitious. Huh?
No, but we are ambitious, but we are very conservative in the way we develop.
The city is on how many hectares?
Around 1 hectare.
1 hectare? 1,500 units?
Because we build around 20,000 square meter in 1,000 hectares, in 1,000 square meter. So it's a high-rise building.
You create 2 hectares per 1,000 square
more or
meters.
less, right.
So 20 times.
Yes. In fact, the total number, the total square meter when the entire project will be completed,
200,000.
It's going to be it's going to be around 90,000 square
9
meters.
hectares.
How many floors?
There are 6 buildings of 11 stories and 1 tower of around 35.
Is the highest? They will be the highest buildings in Cagayan de Oro.
Yes.
The highest residential buildings.
Yes.
And the average size of a unit is 80.
We have mainly studio types.
Studio meaning no bedroom?
No, it has no 1 bedroom. Studio type is around 24 to 28 square meters.
Quite small.
Small, but people can combine them. So means they can buy 2 or 3 studios, and then it's very flexible.
But
the
if
layout.
they buy 2 studios, they will have 2 doors.
They can have 2 doors, but they can even use one. But that's nice because we leave the clients the chances to customize their properties.
The advantage of combining 2 small units is we pay taxes for only 1 unit.
Not really. It depends. If in the Philippines, if a unit
5
costs
million or less?
2.5 million less, you don't pay VAT.
Okay, yeah.
So if the studio costs less than 2.5 million, you don't pay VAT.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why you don't pay for the first unit.
It depends, but now the price is increasing, so they pay.
And your clientele, the demographics?
Demographic, we have around 35% people from surrounding areas, investor, businessmen, professionals. We have around 30% OFW in general.
30%?
Yes,
Yeah.
30.
How much the average per square meter? 90?
It's interesting because also the real estate value appreciation is really interesting because we started to sell in Cagayan at 50,000 pesos per square meter. Today we are
With
selling
Primavera?
in Primavera residences.
Yeah.
Today in Primavera City we are selling at around 100, 105.
Double.
105?
Double, yeah.
And
double.
we are doing well.
In CDO?
How about this
Wow.
one in the city?
In the city we are selling at 105.
Yeah, 150.
105 with
105,000.
105.
With greater density?
No, the density is the same. Because
No, but in 1,000 square meters, you make 9 hectares.
no, yes, but even in Primavera Residences property is around 2,000 square meter, and we build around 40,000 square meter.
40,000.
Yes, but it's standard. The floor
So the
area
open
ratio.
space is 30%.
Yes, even more. We are advocating a green sustainable development. So we lose some profit, I have to say, for the benefit of the
So
environment.
the open space is 40%.
Yes,
Which
between
is why you have
30
a-
to 35, right?
Yes.
You have a greenery effect.
We have we have an inner courtyard that enhance ventilation. Every unit has a cross ventilation.
Okay.
We have shading so that in the hottest hour of the day the sun doesn't hit the
So the
window.
effect is Primavera forever.
I like that. We can use it.
So how many projects do you have?
Now we have a new project. Apart from Cagayan, where we started, we have now a project in Santo Tomas, Batangas. We our first project in Luzon. We will start the construction first or second week of.
That's your biggest project.
Even when it's going to be completed, yes. It's
Biggest
going to
and
be,
most ambitious project.
Is it residential?
It's a mixed use. All
Mixed
our
use.
projects are mixed use.
So how many hectares and how many units?
We have, phase 1, the property is 2,000 square meter. And
Only 2,000 square
only
meters?
2,000. And the
That means you can create 1.8
more or
1.8
less.
hectares out of
how
it.
much how much is the total square meter buildable area?
The gross floor area is 20,000.
Yeah. So more or less it's always as you said.
The
Yeah,
phase
2
one.
hectares.
You put it well, around 2
Yeah.
hectares for every 1,000
For every
square
1,000 square meters.
But again, units are the environment is really nice, really pleasant because we leave a lot of open spaces for ventilation.
So we're going to talk
open
about
space is
how
also at least 35%.
Yeah.
We're going to talk
So you
about
have
how you're
Primavera
going to do
effect also in
that.
Batangas.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're going to
very
cut to
good.
a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Engineer Giuseppe, what percentage of your development is actually for sustainable, for green?
All of our development are,
Yeah.
are green.
No, what percentage of the whole property?
Like
Would you set aside?
The open space is 35 to 40%,
Yes,
diba?
it's
Yeah.
35 open and 70% is the residential they build, the sellable area.
You're a designer, no?
Yes,
What
I am an
ideas
engineer.
did you bring forth to your projects?
What idea? When I come later in the company, so
Yeah.
all of the green passive fixture was already
Was there already?
was already there.
So what new did you introduce?
What I introduced, I improved the construction technology
Yeah.
and the management of the site and the coordination among
So
the
construction
different
technology, you
trade.
build faster now. You build faster
We
now.
build,
It
faster.
took you 20 days before, now it takes only what? 10 days? Is that it? No.
We try to
How
reduce
many
the,
days do you finish one unit?
it's not a unit like, let's say, a floor.
Yeah.
We can talk about
Upper
a floor.
floor.
Yes.
yeah. One floor takes about how many months? 3 months?
Takes 2 months, 2 months and a
2
half.
months, very
Yes.
fast.
Yeah,
huh?
it's fast.
2 weeks
one-
for the structural
That's a
works.
floor that has 9,000 square meters.
It's a floor has around 1,000 to, in Miramonti we'll have 1,000 square
A smaller
meter.
footprint.
1,000.
Yes, for the tower, for the residential tower. In Primavera City is 1,500 square meter every floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by passive greening of the buildings?
Means that all of our green fixtures are not technologically related, but when we embed this green fixture inside the construction, so we are going to have natural ventilation, because for when we build a residential, we leave a space between usually the commercial podium and the residential tower.
Yeah.
This space will be open, and from there we can have the air coming inside the inner court of the building. That will allow the cross ventilation of the unit.
In effect, in every floor there is a wind tunnel.
Yes.
That is fresh air,
All the floor.
invigorating
Yes,
air
yes.
coming from the environment.
Yes.
That has the effect of a
Yes.
forest.
So you work with the
Yeah.
environment
We work with
together.
the environment.
Yes.
Then
yeah.
we also recycle the water. So all the wastewater has been treated with our sewage treatment plants, and then we recycle the water. And we also harvesting the rainwater, and that will be used for all the green inside
So
our
that's why
building.
you call it passive. You don't notice it, but
Yes,
it's there,
it's
as
there.
if it's natural.
Yes,
Okay.
As opposed to just sticking technology, which is what some developers actually
Correct. So in
do.
this way, we are able to contain the cost, construction cost,
Yes.
and so that we are able to deliver a green buildings, a green property at an accessible price.
Yes.
That's really our.
See,
Yeah.
Alex, you are now a resident of the Philippines.
But
Why
you're
are
an
you with
investor,
them? Why
you're
are
an
you with them?
investor.
Why are you with them?
Well, I'm a resident of Singapore for
Yeah,
last
yeah.
16 years, but I like the way that Romulo designed his buildings. He designs them in a very progressive, beautiful way, yet he makes it very affordable.
Romulo is an honor graduate of architecture, aren't you? Yeah.
He is really the guy behind this
He has the
idea.
genes of Leonardo da Vinci.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Directly from
Who
there.
was an
you know.
engineer, painter,
Everything
builder,
is really was.
Yeah.
astronomer.
But your background is actually luxury. So can you explain how this actually a kind of a partnership, like in Primavera and CDO, that's actually luxury in that particular segment.
You can say it's luxury because in
But
general.
luxury that is small, no? 40 square meters?
The units?
Yeah.
It depends. It can be 20, 40, 60.
They are the size of a hotel room. Yeah.
But I think it's more the product. No? How do you see luxury
Yes.
in our product?
What are your impressions about their product?
Well, their product, the beauty about it is that they are building it according to the models which are incorporating the direction of the sun, the direction of the wind. They maximize the capacity of wind to cool, which is very important in a country like Philippines, where the power is so expensive. For example, this is something that in other countries people would not be so thinking about it because the power is cheaper. While in Philippines, their designs can reduce the air conditioning by as
In
much
effect,
as 30%.
Alex, what you are saying is they capture morning sun and they close off afternoon sun.
And then they shade the
Yeah, they
units
shade
in a
afternoon
way
sun.
that maybe in other places would not
Because
bother.
the afternoon sun can be very oppressive. Yeah.
Exactly.
And because it's oppressive, you have to use a lot of air conditioning.
And
But
the
since
green-
they ward off the afternoon sun, you save a lot of money, air conditioning.
So you say 30%.
up to 30%, and
of
Romulo,
savings.
correct me if
Yeah,
I'm...
it's correct.
And this is what I really liked about their investments, because when we do the investment, eventually either we rent them out or we sell them. But people that use it, they feel much more happier. Of course, the bills are lower, but also I'm very happy about it because I really believe that the longer term we need to take in account the environment.
Yes.
We need to think about it, not just for saying it, but for really acting on it because it really pays.
You said, Alex, you bought 5 units in Cagayan de Oro Primavera.
In
You're renting
overall
them
look.
out.
Yes, sir.
You bought them cash or installment? What I'm trying to ask you is, do you have positive cash flow?
Unfortunately, foreigners are not allowed to finance properties in Philippines, which is
But
very...
it's a condominium, so you're allowed out to 40% ownership.
No, about the loan. It was about no
Cannot
bank.
finance.
Financing.
So
So
you
you
cannot
pay
go
in
to
cash?
bank.
Yeah.
You have to
Pay
buy
in
in
cash.
cash, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is your return of investment?
The return on investments are very, I would say, very satisfying in the sense of
What, 15%?
I would say even after the management fees, you will be somewhere between 8 and 12% safely. Yeah.
Because you must be doing 40% margin, aren't you?
Gross.
Yeah, 40%.
Here we are talking about the return of investment on leasing, so on IRR.
Correct.
So he has a recurring income.
Internal rate of return.
On leasing, on leasing.
Exactly, and I'm not counting in the appreciation.
You are
course.
counting what your money should get with that kind of investment, IRR.
Yeah.
But
In a way.
at the same time, you have price appreciation,
Yes.
which
Exactly.
is double, 100%.
Yes,
Correct.
That's equivalent to what, 8% a year?
Estimation.
A month, yeah.
Oh,
8%
no,
a month.
8% a year. I
Yeah,
would say.
100% divided by 12, that's about 8.
Only the real estate appreciation. So in short, an average client can earn up to 15 or 20% per month if you add the real estate value appreciation divided for the years and the rental income.
15 or 80%, that means you're doubling your property value and your income every month, every 12 months. Because you get price appreciation of 8%.
Because of the land value.
Because
That is
the
because of
price
land
doubled.
value.
Double means 100. 100 divided by 12 is 96.
But it depends when he bought it.
Huh?
It depends when he bought it.
Yeah.
Because if you have bought the unit when we started to sell 50,000 pesos, 45,000 pesos. I don't remember when Alex.
When did
bought
you
it.
come in, Alex?
Yeah.
At 75?
When was it? It was some 3 years back.
2013.
Oh, he started at 50.
He started well.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to say, Alex is
15
really
or
a supporter of the company from the very beginning.
In
Because
effect, Romulo, his units are now free.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got his money back in 1 year.
Yeah. So will you be investing also in Santo Tomas, Batangas?
We're definitely looking into this, and you know, I would say for people from overseas to invest in a place like Cagayan de Oro is unheard of because of the image. Yes.
Why
And
you were intimidated by Cagayan de Oro,
Absolutely.
the city of gold.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what is interesting is even when I would tell to my Filipino friends in Singapore that I'm going to invest in Cagayan de Oro, they were more horrified. You're going to Mindanao. Yeah. And I said, well, I went there and I came back and I went there again and I came back and I didn't see any problem with
And
it.
you're still here.
And I'm still here.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna
and
cut.
happy.
We're gonna cut this short.
Anyway, the trouble spot is about 400 kilometers away.
yeah,
The what?
The
the
trouble spot,
problem where there are
the
the problems.
holo and
Ah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not in
All right.
recording now.
We'll
yet.
be right back. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So you doubled your investment in 10 years. We're talking about 10 years when we're saying that we're doubling the investment.
Exactly. In reality, our budget is about that. So we are
Yes.
assuming within 10 years, but my take is that taking into account the phenomenal growth of Philippine economy, I think we're getting basically a tailwind, and then this is probably going to be faster.
Yes, and this is what's going to happen also in Batangas.
Yes.
Anyway, the best measure of how good the investment is, you are completely sold out in Primavera, Cagayan de Oro.
Both project, Primavera
Yeah.
Residence and Primavera City.
And
Yeah.
how
about in
many
Batangas?
want to buy?
Sorry?
How many want to buy?
How
If
many?
you had units to sell, how many are in the waiting line?
No, we have, for example, now we have already in the Primavera City Phase 2 around 30 people waiting for us to launch a project. So
30 people from zero,
30 people from zero.
waiting
yes.
for zero.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's very good.
No, we are doing. I think that the kind of product that we are offering to the market is very much appreciated. And Santo Tomas also, we already have a reservation for almost 50%,
50%.
and we didn't start the construction yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, we
Meaning to say you are 50% pre-sold.
pre-sold, but we prefer to say reservations.
Reservation meaning they put up some money.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
So-
And the money is about 5,000 pesos.
no, it's around 20. Less.
20,000.
The reservation is 20,000. Plus, they have to start to pay after 1 month's reservation. They have to start to pay the down
monthly,
payment.
yes.
Usually, Romulo, after paying
Yeah.
what you call reservation fee, how many % of that is realized? Meaning end up buying a...
No, in general,
once you put up a reservation fee, that means 100% buy.
There is always a small percentage in our case of forfeiting. I mean, people that will not proceed with the purchase.
Small percentage, 2%,
very small. It's no,
2%.
no, much less in our case.
1%.
Maybe even less than 0.5.
0.15.
0.5.
0.5.
Sorry, zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0.5.
One half.
5%.
One
No,
half.
less.
So maybe out of 100,
Yeah. Out of
what?
100,
Less than one.
Yes, 1, 2,
Less
3.
than one. Oh.
Very small.
How large is
The only one who
unit?
could not fulfill that contract is he was held back by traffic. No?
Sorry.
He was held back by traffic.
How large is the unit in
Again, all studio types, so around 24, 25 square meter, but they can join the unit. So we can have a 50 square
Yeah.
meter, a 70 square
So
meter.
that seems to be the strategy for
Yes, it is.
that. Yeah.
Actually, it makes the building very much
How much is the
flexible.
average unit price?
In Santo Tomas, we are around 2.5 to 3
2.5,
million.
yes.
2.5, that's very
million.
cheap. Huh?
It's
Yeah.
Very
depends
cheap.
on the size.
40 square meters,
No, 25.
25.
24, 27, yeah,
Yes.
So you're selling at 100,000?
more or less.
100,000?
Yes.
In Batangas?
Yes,
You're selling in Batangas 100 per square meter
yes.
in a place
You
that
have to
is
go-
in a place that is 100 kilometers from Manila.
No, it's 60 kilometers.
Driving distance, but in
The
terms
driving
of
distance is around 45 minutes from Makati. It's all highway, and our exit is
Batangas is only 60 kilometers
it's Santo Tomas.
from the intersection.
Yes.
And
It's-
from there, how many minutes more?
It's in front. You exit
Oh,
from
right
the ramp.
in Santo
Right,
Tomas.
right at the exit, you are in our. It's also
exit what they call the Star Tollway.
Start always. Right.
Santo Tomas
Yes.
Arterial Road. That's
Yes,
why called
yes.
Star.
Ah, okay. Santo
Yeah.
Tomas Area Road. Ah, that's
yeah,
right.
Star. That's why called Star. Yeah. And
Yes,
you are the
that-
star in that place.
Yes, we are. We
Yeah.
are.
You have no competition.
Yeah. No, we're no
Oh,
competition.
that's why you're Star.
Yes.
After exiting the Star, you go to the real Star.
What makes Italpinas different is that you are design driven.
Yes.
Explain what that means. Why
Joseph,
are you
yeah,
different
Joseph.
from the others, Giuseppe?
Because all of our green fixture, in order to deliver these green passive fixtures, what we did, we design our building with a building information model, and then we study the position of the building with the actual location of the wind and also the sun, in a way to
Anyway,
to
Joseph,
orient.
all your units are facing morning sun, where the sun rises. All your units.
It depends.
It depends. Yes.
It depends.
Yes.
Also, some units are facing the west.
Yes, but usually we try to turn the tower in a way that
And those
will
facing
be
the west have
properly
trees.
shielded. Yes.
Trees
We have
to
mainly,
block the afternoon sun.
mainly ledges, cantilever that creates shade.
Yeah, shade.
So when the sun comes in the hot sun will go inside the unit. There is a ledge
So the
that will shade it.
oppressive rays of the sun are calibrated
Yes.
as they touch the building.
Yes.
And there's natural vegetation.
Yes.
Any pine trees, nara trees, mahogany trees around?
We have trees.
We
yes.
have three.
How many trees are there when you bought the property?
You know, when we buy the property, there are no trees in general because it's
Barren
already
land.
subdivision.
Yes.
It's already subdivided. But what we do,
You bought property inside the subdivision?
no, not really a subdivision. It's like a township.
Township.
We buy properties in townships already.
Township is a euphemism for many condos.
Also many
Buildings.
houses or factories.
Otherwise, they won't be a ship, but they become a town.
Yes, township.
About the tree, we used to have a sky garden. So in the rooftop of our
Sky
building,
garden.
there is a garden.
How do you simulate the greenery in the rooftop?
There is really to the
What
tree.
is the
plants.
depth of the soil for you to plant palm trees?
It depends of the type.
Huh?
It depends of the type of the tree. Usually range
My
from
experience, you need at
40
least
to
18
50.
inches depth. 18 inches depth.
18 inches. In
So
centimeter,
the palm tree can
Around
grow
30,
about 4
40.
meters.
But it depends what kind of plant.
the kind of plant.
Yeah, the one with the plants.
Yeah.
Palmera, that like that, or over there.
Yes.
They need
we go
18
from,
inches of depth.
from 30 centimeter to 80 centimeter.
30 centimeters,
to
only
80
10 inches.
10 inches. For
That's very
the-
shallow. Huh?
For the small grow, to 80 centimeter for the actual tree.
Yeah. But Alex, you're looking to invest. You're actually invested partially already with IDC, but you're looking to invest in the
Also in
Philippines.
Batangas.
Definitely. We're looking into it.
Have you gone to Batangas?
Yes.
You tried their bulalo?
No.
No? Bulalo is the beef.
Not yet.
Have you tried their Barako coffee?
Oh yes, I like.
You like
actually,
it?
I like it coffee. We had some very nice coffee in, from the hills of Mindanao, which was very nice. You know,
Actually, Mindanao produces among the best coffees in the world.
apparently,
But
which I
since-
didn't know before, but now
since
I know.
Mindanao had such notoriety, people don't know. Yeah, like
Exactly.
Colombia, people think it's a land of drug lords and drugs. Yeah, very nice coffee.
Very nice coffee.
But Mindanao, land of peace and great kingdoms, yes, great coffee, not appreciated by the world. We have bragging rights problem. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I think. What the stereotype that Alex is also
Yeah.
breaking in coming back and forth in the Philippines from Singapore.
Because
inviting
Mindanao
investors.
has great plateau.
Exactly.
It's a great plateau, which accounts for a very nice climate, good vegetation for pineapples, mangoes, coffee. Because I understand coffee grows very well in a temperate climate. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not an expert, but
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, you should be an expert because you come from Italy.
Yeah, well,
and
but
the best
I meant
coffee,
in drinking
and
coffee.
the best coffee comes from Italy.
Yeah,
That's
so,
why
but-
Starbucks
yes.
cannot penetrate Italy.
true.
Yeah, it's a stronghold of coffee. Yeah.
Actually, Starbucks was developed under following the concept of Italian bars.
Yeah,
Where you go to take
Okay.
Yeah.
breakfast.
So Alex, in your point of view, from your point of view, from Singapore, how do you see the luxury market here in the Philippines? But before you answer that, we're going to cut a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So Alex, your background really is on the luxury. Before you talk about like what you think about the luxury segment here, tell us about Panache Management, Singapore-based.
Panache Management is a company that represents the luxury brands of Form Italia, Tonino Lamborghini Casa, and Aston Martin Interiors and Designs. So we do the most luxurious, upscale design lights in the world. Of course, that's how we at least see it. And
So you take that and you design it into, let's say, the residential.
we design it into residential. So if people want to have their beautiful house made by Mr. Lamborghini, they can sit on the sofa of Mr. Lamborghini, or we can make interiors of their villas or their private jets or super yachts. So we can basically create the whole world for them to be in the most gorgeous designs, all handcrafted in Italy and Florence. So
Wow.
everything is done in Italy, and then we ship it to clients, and either we install it in the yachts or at homes and offices. So any of this stuff is basically we
So do we
specialize in.
see some of that stuff coming over now to IDC units, or some hints of that?
Yes, even if our target market is not really so upscale as the client of
Yes. Alex.
the company of Alex, but I think Alex saw luxury in a different way in our company. Is that correct?
Yes, we also, because of our accessibility to projects and properties, we also look into investments, and this is where our kind of interest was evolved, seeing Romulo's designs.
Yes.
The designs are actually beautiful, yet he makes it very affordable. He goes to, in a way, into provinces where people really need it more. And on top of that, he always designed it in a green design mind, which is not just for the decoration or good feeling, but it's actually a cost reduction for clients to use, which means it's a better investment for people
It's already integrated,
It's
right? That's why you
integrated.
say it's design driven versus slapping on just technology.
It's totally, it's very well put. It's really design driven, and on top of that, you know, with the cream is this green idea, which is reducing the costs of air conditioning, the lighting, and which makes basically people who rent it or live in it saving money, and that makes them love property more, which makes it very happy for investor.
Yeah, but you're focusing on like secondary cities, which are no longer secondary actually now.
That's correct.
And then that's where the growth is, and that's where you're actually coming in to take a look at
Exactly.
investments. So you're looking at returns of what? From Singapore, from that point of view, and you're looking at the Philippines. We have a much better return, you think, for the real estate?
In the current market, Singapore is under very, I would say, severe cooling measures. So the cooling measures in Singapore were designed to control the property prices not to go the way it went, say, in Hong Kong.
Yes.
And nevertheless, in Singapore, it's still much cheaper, but to enter the market now, it's quite tough for, I'm talking about residential.
Yes.
And so there are many limitations for investment in Singapore. And while Philippines is a big neighbor, and Philippine economy is growing nicely.
Yes.
Philippines proven to be stable despite all the naysayers. And yet you can see quality of life is improving, and you can see investment atmosphere is improving. You can see more attention to Philippines.
The infrastructure is improving. We have a lot of investments from China and from Japan also, and the United States.
Exactly, and even you can see more people looking into seeing if they can get better returns from Philippines, which I can see it quite clearly.
So there's a greater piece of the action here, would you say, here in the Philippines? What's the largest trend that you see?
I would say this centrifugal, we can call migration of people leaving from the main city, Metro Manila, also Cebu, toward new locations, like new cities, as you said, secondary, tertiary city, like Mindanao can be Cagayan, Davao, or even Siargao now in the tourism
that's
sector.
Booming as well.
It's booming, or even in the Visayas, now we have Bacolod, Dumaguete, and so that's quite exciting, no? Because a lot of things are happening there, and we like to be ahead of the curve. And we were ahead of the curve if you consider that we started to invest in Cagayan de Oro back in 2009, 2010. At that time, it wasn't mainstream, going in the provinces, and now it is. That's why Cagayan is booming, and so
where are you at now? Where are you at now? Where are your properties now? So
we have, again, Cagayan, we are established, we will be there for several years, for good. Santo Tomas, Batangas, as well, we are going to develop several hundreds, if not thousands of units. And we are exploring other areas in Batangas, but also in the north. We are checking Vigan, Naga, like these areas. The Visayas, we also like. So
so for example, like Naga, what do you see in Naga that you're actually considering?
We always study different cities, so Naga is just one. We don't have at the moment anything yet cast in stone, but the good thing is there are no condominiums yet, or at least there are no condominiums with our characteristics, with our features. It's a homeland of several OFW, and you know, in Italy, many of them are in Italy. In Italy, we have a big community. It's the second biggest community, more than 200,000 Filipinos living there, and I think almost
that can be a captured
market, and at the local market. I mean, as Steve Jobs used to say, many times the market doesn't know what they want. You give it to them, they eventually get it. So that's
so what would be the criteria for you, and then also for Alex, the criteria for you to say, okay, I think Naga is a good place, for example, if we were to pick Naga?
Of course, infrastructure, accessibility, education, growth of the city, and prospective.
And not many condominiums right now as well, also in Naga?
I have to be frank, I have never been in Naga yet. I just mentioned Naga because it's up to the north and it's in the list of one of the cities we are studying together with maybe another 12 cities. But I don't think there are green buildings. I don't think there are buildings with, again, the characteristic of our buildings, but still affordable. So we really also need to understand where is the market now, because we need to make sure that if we develop a project in a certain city, can be Naga, can be Bacolod, can be Iloilo, or wherever, the market can absorb it. So that's apart from the fact that we like or do not like a place, we do extensive analysis, study. We need to gather data about the demographic, about the economy, so that's very important. So we have we have a quite long process before we start to develop.
Would part of your strategy, and you also as an investor, would part of your strategy be sort of like, not really land banking, but if there are some people who would have properties, would you be partnering up to actually develop that property in some cities? That would be one opportunity that you would be open to?
Joint venture, yes, absolutely. We are relatively a young company, not yet 10 years in the real estate scenario, and we, with my partner Giorgio, who Leviste, today unfortunately couldn't come because he had previous commitment, we are always exploring opportunities with the investor, partners. We are really open, and I think synergies is really what helps companies to grow faster and better.
Yeah. So Giuseppe, on the how you're actually constructing all this new projects that's coming in, is there anything that you can actually put in together, the Filipino element that you have actually or plan to incorporate?
All of our team is Filipino. We have lots of architects, engineers, all of our team. So we used to work together and in synergy to improve.
Are there Filipino materials that you would be using?
Yes, we always try to use in all of our development to try to source a local contractor when it's available, because the local contractor will reinvest the money in the city. So we will contribute to grow this emergency city. Yeah. And for the material, when it's possible, we try to look for a local supplier. So.
And indigenous materials do you use in your interior design, for example?
This is interior because yes.
Yes, sure.
No, we are not we deliver the units. We say livable, not interior. But we also offer package to
if
interior
someone
design.
Would want for you to do the interior,
then
you could.
Do it.
Yes, then
you could.
Yes.
Yeah, Alex, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned something about, like, you know how this thing now is Crazy Rich Asians. The movie, but also properties. That's in the luxury segment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's trending there, and do you see that also here in the Philippines? But before you answer that, we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Tell us about that. You wrote about the Crazy Rich Asian and their properties.
Yes, I'm published in one of these popular, very luxurious magazines called Palace, which is published out of Singapore for the region. And by default of the name, it's more targeting the luxurious properties in the region and the world. And I analyzed this, the point of what is actually happening within property and rich Asians. And Crazy Rich Asians, in fact, are heavily invested in nothing but property. Out of 10 richest in Singapore, 6 are directly doing business in plain vanilla property. And even the other ones that I found out that even the ones that have banking or whatever other things, they have huge holding companies that invest heavily in property, sometimes in billions of dollars. The same applies for Malaysia. So I realized property is something that drives the region. And I always say, people ask me about this, and I say, I meet a lot of rich, interesting people and just rich people and not so interesting, but some people, they love watches. Some people, they love golf. Some people love yachts. Yeah, but
some jewelry.
And some love jewelry. But then one thing is uniting, I say all of us, the Asians, is the love for property. And property is by far the most beloved item for all the Asians. And the Crazy Rich Asians, that's why they're crazy rich, because they were invested in property.
Yeah, or most of them actually probably inherit also. Inherit property, then reinvest.
They inherit and reinvest, it's absolutely right, but many of them actually got into their parents' companies as a developers or investors, and they basically continue even second or third generation.
Yeah, so property actually balances out, you know, all these ups and downs even in the market.
True.
So it really is investing in property. Yeah. So is that your parting shot, Alex? Is to invest in properties?
I would say property is a very powerful part of portfolio of investor, and it's always good to look at it, and it's always good to be open-minded. And I think our region, ASEAN, presents a lot of interesting opportunities. So we, based in Singapore, I don't treat Singapore as the country. I think of it as Manhattan of the region, and
Yes.
so I don't see Philippines as a foreign land. You know, nor I see Indonesia as such.
Because
and
we're
Thailand.
looking at ASEAN as a block. That's right.
We look at this in the region. I love Thailand. I also invest in Thailand. We look into Thailand more. We look into Philippines more. You know, so I think the future is bright, especially for ASEAN region, and I think it's a very important part of it will be the property side of it.
Yeah, and Giuseppe, what can you say about design-driven that we should actually be building based on looking at sustainability?
Yes, for sure. For to have a better buildings, better living, we need to design green buildings. So
And it doesn't have to be expensive.
No, not at all, because all of our green fixtures are embedded in the construction. So it's not technological or expensive, so it's very, very affordable.
Yeah. And Romulo, the future is very bright for IDC.
Yes, it looks like, and we are very happy. Next year, we are going to celebrate our 10 years.
Congratulations!
Because we incorporated the company back in January 2009. So it's good. We are growing, and it's
a very short time growing quite well.
We have been growing quite well, and thanks to the Philippines, I'm really always very grateful about the country, about the people that allow me to realize this dream. And now it's a common dream because many people join.
Yes.
So it's really, I'm really happy to be
and
here.
it's good that IDC is being a benchmark also for sustainable development.
Yeah, yes, and
design driven.
Yes, that's really the space we want to own. Our positioning is really
the space that should grow as well.
Yes, that's what we want.
Well, congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you for being on our show. We will see you again when we'll have an update.
Yes.
In the next couple of months.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much.
All right, you watch another episode of Biz News. I am Elizabeth Lee. Tony had to leave quickly, but see us every Monday at 10 p.m. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night. God bless. Thanks for watching.